Hi everybody, how you doing? This is Nisa with Nisa Variety Show, and today we have a really good one. Who out there likes salmon? I like salmon. I love salmon. Now, let me tell you, my secret taste tester, she's not here today. And the reason she's not here today, because she went to a concert. So we're just going to make this all on our own. We're going to have salmon. We're going to bake it in the oven. And then we have 2 pieces. So we're going to put 1 piece on top of some cheddar mashed potatoes. And the other piece we are going to put on top of some spinach. So first of all, we're going to get started with a spinach. So I have some water over here on the stove, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here. And this is about 2 cups of water. And I've cut up about 1/4 of an onion. And I'm going to put this onion in this water here. And this is just a little small pan because spinach really cooks down. If you know anything about spinach, it cooks down to nothing. So it will fit in this pan. And I'm going to turn this on just regular old medium on number 5 in between 4 and 6. So it's on a good medium. Now, I usually have some of that garlic stuff in the little tube you can squeeze out, and I can make some garlic butter that way. But my secret taste tester likes to cook around here sometimes. And when they do, they like to make, use the easiest ingredients they can find. So they used up all my garlic. So I have to use this regular garlic I got. And this is some of this press and seal plastic wrap. And I'm going to tell you, they came out with this. This is some of the best stuff they ever came out with. I absolutely love it. So I've already cut up 3 pieces of garlic. And I'm just going to put it inside of here. And I don't have a garlic masher either. So, see how I got that just in a little closed up there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to beat this garlic up. I'm just going to smash it and smash it and smash it until it's just pretty much all smashed up really good. Then I'm going to put it in this bowl here. And I let this butter set out a while, but we're going to put it back in the freezer with this. Because we're going to put this butter on at the end of the salmon cooking. Now we're going to put a little piece of butter on there while it's cooking, but we're going to put this butter on at the end. So let's put that in there. It didn't smush up as good as I would have liked. I should have had something I could have really smushed it with. That's okay. We let the flavors of the garlic get pressed out, and that's what really counts. Now, we're going to take our butter. We're making our own flavored butter. And we're going to put that in there, and let's put just a little bit more. And so let's just smush this all together. And we're making garlic butter. How about that? Make your own garlic butter. You gotta pay all that money at the store for no garlic butter. You just make your own. You got some garlic and you got some butter. Just soften your butter, smush your garlic up, and voila! And you got garlic butter. And I was looking over there because I heard a cat. And he must be smelling this salmon I sitting out here. But I didn't know anybody had a cat that lived around here. Now, I used to be allergic to cats. I went to an allergist. And matter of fact, I go to, he's not just an allergist, he's I can't think of what he calls it. He's some kind of specialist in allergies. So he gets down to the bottom of it. He treats you for everything, and when he gets done, you're supposed to not be allergic to anything anymore. But when I moved out west, where I live now in the desert, I moved from the south, and where I lived in the south, I lived in what they called the Dust Bowl, okay? And I had all kinds of allergies. I mean, all kinds of allergies. And I went to allergy treatments out there, and I got allergy shots of all kinds for years. And I eventually didn't have any allergies. Well, when I moved out west, I moved in this area in the desert, and my allergies this year, whew, they have kicked my behind. And I mean kicked my behind. This is the worst allergies I have ever had. And so I've been going to this allergist, and I'm gonna tell you, I really like him. He's a nice guy, and he's doing a great job. You know, I would recommend him to anybody. You know, he's a really, really good doctor, and he has a great personality. And that's what counts in that business. You know, sometimes people can even be bad at what they do, as long as their personalities is good, you know. But he has a great personality, and he's good at his job, you know. And he's only one of about 3 doctors that does this in this whole area, and I think it's something like 3 million people that live here. And that man gets you into the room, and he gets you out within about 2 or 3 minutes, and he would have treated you with kindness and respect, and got your symptoms diagnosed, and got everything done, and got you out of there so quick. It's not even funny. And his hair don't even get out of place. But anyway, so I'm gonna quit talking about him. But anyway, here is our garlic butter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick this garlic butter in the freezer. Now we got our onions boiling over there. I like for my onions to cook for a minute or two. I'm not gonna say a minute or two. I'll say I like for them to cook for, you know, about a good 5 to 7 minutes to get the flavor of the onion into the water. And once that happens, then I like to put my spinach in there, or whatever I'm gonna, if I'm cooking some type of vegetable, that's how I do it. Now, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is, don't you? Okay, let's get my pan. I'm gonna put the salmon in. Move that out of my way. So this is gonna be our pan for our salmon. And what is it? Y'all like, there she go with that non-stick spray. Yes, this non-stick spray. I love me some non-stick spray. But you know what? I don't like to scrub stuff. You know, when I'm cleaning, I just like to clean stuff, and it just come right off. And when you use non-stick spray, stuff just come right off. And then I don't like my stuff to be all stuck to the bed. When I take my food out the bed, I like to get all of it. So when you use a non-stick spray, you get all your food. So just need to spray the bottom of that. Put our spray over here out the way. Now, I got us 2 pieces of salmon here, and this salmon is individually wrapped, and I need our scissors. I'm gonna open this salmon up, this spinach up before I mess with this salmon. Now, we'll cut this salmon open. I ain't gonna pour all this juice off because you know what? We're gonna make something a lot of people probably don't even think about making or even know about. But I know about it because I've had it several times. And it's called a fish gravy. So we're gonna make a salmon gravy though. And let me tell you something. Ooh, it is so delicious. You will make, for all the fish you bake and fry, you will have fish gravy. After this, you will make some because it's so good. You know, I remember the first time I had some, I was in Mexico. And after that, I've been making fish gravy ever since. Now we want to save just a little juice in our salmon. We don't want to pour all of it out. We want to make sure it makes a little extra juice. Now one thing I like to do, let me get my tongs over here, is I like to season both sides of my salmon. So I'm going to start on the back side seasoning. Because I used to say, you know, salmon don't taste good on both sides. So I started flipping it over in the middle of cooking it and then flipping it back over to the right side. And I was like, why don't I just season the back and add seasoning on? Okay. Take these gloves off. I don't need them anymore. Now, I smell our onions out here. They're smelling good. So I'm going to put I got some whole leaf spinach. So I'm going to put it on in the water here with the onions. Now, another thing I like to use is I like to use a little salt in my spinach. And I know you say, Nisa, why are you always using that table salt? And let me tell you a lesson I learned the hard way, but let me put some butter in the spinach too. We gotta have butter in our spinach. Just gonna put the rest of this piece I had in here. And for right now, I'm gonna leave this on medium. I'm gonna bring this other stick of butter and I'm gonna put it on here. But the reason that I use table salt is because I have something called thyroid disease, which a lot of people have that, and your thyroid's right here. And when I was doing my research, I found out that a lot of Americans have thyroid disease. And a lot of people in Asian countries don't. And the reason that people in Asian countries don't have thyroid disease is because they eat a lot of foods that contain iodine. But in America, we only eat one food that has iodine in it, and that's table salt. And so that's why we have a lot of thyroid disease. And I also found out that no matter if you have overactive or underactive, hypo or hyper, you need iodine. I mean, that's the situation for both types of thyroid disease. So whether you have an overactive thyroid or underactive thyroid, the problem is you don't have enough iodine in your diet. And so I'm not telling you to eat salt though. If you have high blood pressure or you have a problem with eating salt, you have to talk to your doctor about that. But when my blood pressure was acting crazy and all of that stuff, and I wasn't able to eat iodine salt, my thyroid got a lot worse off. And that's why I did the research, and I found out, I was like, oh, well, no wonder I have to supplement the iodine because I'm no longer eating table salt. And that was the problem. But it's up to you. You have to research and you have to talk to your doctor. You can't just listen to me because I don't have a PhD and I have not been to medical school and I don't know anything about medicine per se. But I do know what worked for me, okay? And going back to eating table salt with iodine in it worked for me, okay? It helped my thyroid. I still have thyroid disease, but it's not going all crazy like it did when I wasn't eating it. Now, I'm not going to use a lot of this on our salmon because I'm going to use this garlic salt too. So I'm just going to sprinkle this lightly. And a lot of this type of seasoning right here has, which I can't see it because I don't have my other glasses. Let me see. I probably still can't see it. Let me see what kind of salt this is. Okay. Okay, it doesn't say, it just says all natural. So this is probably something like kosher salt. And kosher salt doesn't really have a lot of iodine in it either. Okay, so if you're going to use salts, you need to research them to find out exactly what type of mineral other than the salt it has in it, because salt within itself is a mineral. All right, we're gonna use about that much. And y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Original Cajun seasoning, baby. Y'all know I love this. And this just so happens to be another food that is really delicious with this original Cajun seasoning, and I always use it when I'm just making salmon in the oven. Now I do have some salmon recipes where I don't use this, but I am making this salmon today for you guys. Salmon in the oven that's going on top of the cheddar mashed potatoes and on top of the spinach, and I use the Cajun seasoning. So we're going to sprinkle this just lightly because we're going to put it on both sides. And the thing about salmon is you can over season it. So you have to be super careful. You can under season it too. So, you just want to make sure you just watch how much seasoning. Just put a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other side. Now, this is red cayenne pepper. So, like I said, this is the shaker part. You want to just barely, that fell out, that fell out. That's all you want to do. Now, y'all know I love me some onion flavor. I love me some garlic flavor. Alright, now we're going to flip these back over. Now we're going to take all the same seasonings. We're going to go very lightly with the table salt. Very, very lightly. Very, very lightly. Then we're going to go with this garlic salt. And like I said, most likely this is probably kosher salt. So it probably doesn't have iodine in it, but it's still salt. So it's going to affect your blood pressure the same way. And this has some pepper in it and probably some other seasonings. I couldn't really see what all it said on the back of there. It didn't really have the seasoning. Now, a little dash of red pepper there. A little dash of red pepper there. Okay. So we'll go with the garlic seasoning next. We'll go with the onion powder next. And now we're gonna go with the Creole seasoning. Y'all know what? Ooh, uh-oh. A little too much right there, but a little more Creole. Ooh, I might got a little too much on there. All right, now we need our olive oil. Okay. We'll take our olive oil. Turn this oven on too. I'll put this on 425. Now 425 don't work for y'all ovens. You know, go up or down. All right, so that should be enough olive oil. That's like about, say, 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Now to start out with, we're gonna start out with just a little pat of butter. So we'll put that on there. I like to stick it if I can. Now I do like lemon on my salmon, but we're gonna add our lemon at the end too. I like to do it when I get ready to put that garlic butter on there. When we put the garlic butter on our salmon, we're gonna put the lemon on there at the end. So we can get that real good, you know, lemony flavor and taste at the same time. Now, all right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this in the oven. That's what our salmon looks like. Our spinach is boiling over a little bit, so I'm gonna get over here and turn it down some more. And I'm gonna stick this in the oven, and we'll be back when everything's getting just about done. So I'll see you, everybody. We're back, and we have our salmon, and look at how delicious that looks. I've already poured some of the juices from the salmon into that skillet where we're gonna make our gravy. But first, before we do that, we are going to get some of our garlic butter, which I froze it a little too hard here. I'm trying to loosen some of it up. We'll put some of it on this piece here, like that. Ouch, hurt my finger. That's a hazard of cooking, my grandmama used to say. She cut or burned her finger every time. But boy, was she a phenomenal cook. And so we're gonna put this garlic butter here on this piece. Now, we're gonna take our butter. Well, that's not gonna work. Let me cut a piece off of here. Okay, now we have the oven on just about as low as it can go. And we're going to stick this back in there just to stay warm and to let the butter melt. Let that lemon flavor get in there. Now what we have is our water here for our mashed potatoes. We got a cup and a half of water. I'm going to get a half a cup of milk. Okay, make sure that was okay. Half a cup of milk. I'm gonna pour that in there. Now I'm gonna do this over here. As long as you got some pretty hot water, you shouldn't have a problem making your mashed potatoes. Now I just like to use these Idaho home style buttery mashed potatoes. There are some really good mashed potatoes and they work great if you ask me. Let me find us a spoon to stir these with. And one thing about mashed potatoes, you want to, as you pour them into your hot liquids, you want to keep stirring them because that is actually how you keep them from lumping and clumping up. And anytime you have the right consistency of liquids per powdered potatoes, you will get the perfect potatoes each time. And I'm going to show you here. We're going to add cheese to these mashed potatoes. Now, if I was having a fancy smancy dinner, now look how good those mashed potatoes look. See that? That's 1.5 cups of water to half a cup of milk. I would have added 1/2 to 1/2 cream to 1/2 cup of milk. So I would have made them just a little bit more creamier. And what I'm gonna do is put 1 piece of this Colby Jack cheese in there. And then I'm gonna get 2 pieces of just this plain cheddar. And put that into our mashed potatoes. And you want to kind of tear this apart. We're going to put this back on the eye for just a minute to get the cheese melted off into our mashed potatoes. And this hot heat, as you can see, the cheese is already melting into your mashed potatoes. So we could have used shredded cheese or, you know, a block of cheese. But one thing on my show too, guys, you will always see me using a lot. Every once in a while, I will use processed cheese. But most of the time, I never use processed cheese because processed cheese is not that healthy for you. And real cheese actually has cultures and stuff like that in it that keeps the inside of your body healthy. So why not eat something you like and it tastes good and it's good for the inside of your body? So that's why I eat real cheese. You know, I'm just thankful for a person that was in my life. There was a good friend of mine that did catering, and he taught me a lot when I was growing up. And my grandmother's taught me a lot, but he taught me a lot about nutrition. Now we're gonna bring this back over to the stove, to the eye, and we are going to just stay with this because once your mashed potatoes is ready, you don't want to leave them anymore. And we're just adding a little extra heat to make sure this cheese melts good into the mashed potatoes. And it shouldn't take no more than 1 or 2 more minutes because the mashed potatoes is already super hot. Now I'm going to turn this spinach down on low. Okay, and I took those mashed potatoes off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make our fish gravy. So I'm going to turn this stove off, and I'm going to take our salmon out of the stove because, and I'm gonna set it over here. Oh, that smells so good. It smells so delicious. Okay, you see that garlic butter all on top of there? That's just, ooh, we good. And we got some garlic butter left in here, so I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna set my lemon over here too. Get this stuff out of our way. Now, in here, I have poured some of the juice off of our salmon earlier while you guys weren't looking. Now I'm gonna set this over here on the stove. And I'm gonna put it on about between 6 and 7. And while I'm doing that, I'm letting it just warm up just a tinch. And I'm gonna get my paper towels. I like to keep my area straightened up here. Now, one thing we're gonna use too, I don't know if you've heard of these, but they're called capers, and capers is super delicious with fish or especially with salmon. A lot of people use them. But let me get something to open this with. And I don't know if you guys have ever used one of these little things, but I bought it from the store. It's called a gripper. There we go. And our capers is open. Let's set that right there. Now, I think our gravy is about warm enough. So the first thing we're gonna do, we got some of this Pinot Grigio. I think that's how you say it. I don't really drink this wine, but it's wine, okay? And so the first step to making our gravy is, this is going to be a white wine gravy, and we're going to use some white wine in it, okay? Now, if you don't drink, please don't use no white wine in your gravy, all right? I'm not asking you to drink when you don't drink. Just don't use it. But this, if you do drink, you will enjoy it, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is open up our wine. It hasn't been opened because I don't really drink, and I don't drink white wine. And we're going to pour a little bit in the skillet, mix it with I'll pour about 1/4 of a cup, just a little bit. Okay. Now, put our cap back on here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some flour. And I need a spoon for that because my flour's wrong. My flour's over here by the stove. And I'm going to get about a good tablespoonful. I'm going to show you guys. See that? About a good tablespoonful of flour. And I'm going to bring it to my skillet. And I'm going to show you, I'm just going to kind of douse that all around. I'm going to bring it back to the eye, and we're going to mix this into our fish and wine. And we don't want it to be clumpy. So we want to take the bottom of the spoon and we want to press all the clumps out of the flour. And we want to just stir this around and mix all these flavors together till we get one flavor. Okay? Now, this is how this should look. That's how that should look. Y'all see that? Like a paste. I'm going to bring it back up here to the stove. Because we got one more step here. Now, y'all know I live in the desert, so I got to go over here to the water machine. Now I'm going to get a little hot water, a majority of hot water, and just a little cold water, and I'm going to mix them together. And I'm going to put in here in my white wine mixture with flour. I'm not going to pour it all in there at once, because when you use wine in your flour gravy, sometimes it don't thicken up as much as you think it ought to. So you want to kind of pour the water in there slowly, because you don't want your gravy to be too thin. Now, if any of you ever have had fish gravy, you know, sometimes it can be a little on the thin side, and that's why. And it looks like we might gonna use this whole cup of water, so let's see. Now I'm getting ready to get some plates out. Now, one thing I do like in this white wine gravy is some pepper. So I'm gonna put a little pepper in it. All right, so that's about 1/2 teaspoon worth of pepper. And I'm gonna have to put this whole cup of water in there. So I end up taking the whole cup of water. Now I'm gonna pause this for a minute. When I come back, I'm gonna have all the food on the plate. Hey everybody, look, we're back. We got our mashed potatoes with our salmon, with our fish white wine gravy, and then we have our salmon over here on top of our spinach with our white wine gravy and our garlic butter that we made ourselves. And I'll tell you what, you know, your taste buds is not going to be able to believe they sell honey. They are going to be so shocked. But let me say one thing before we get started on this. Look at these cute little earrings I got on. They some little dice earrings. There's 2 little dice on there. And they're so darling. You gotta go on my Macari page. It'll be right under my video. Go on there and find you some cute little earrings, you know. And it's gonna be the holidays soon. Find something for your friends and family. And I'm gonna have my holiday earrings on there too. My helper just hasn't gotten around to it because they have so many other things to do. They have their own business and everything, so they have a hard time getting around to the work that I want them to do. But anyway, they're enjoying themselves tonight. They're at a concert, and so I'm gonna let them be. Now, this shout out for this show is to my cousin Joyce. Hey, Joyce! Honey, you're gonna be able to make this salmon right here, and you're gonna love it. You cook this salmon for about 20 to 25 minutes on 425. Now you can turn your oven up or down, and like Mom Murphy, your grandmama and my grandmama always said, watch your food. A good cook stays in the kitchen. So that's when you know it's done, because you in there with it. You know, you leave the kitchen, that's when the bread burns, okay? But all right, we're gonna taste this salmon with cheddar cheese, mashed potatoes, and see what this is tasting like with this white wine gravy. This is just too good, y'all. That gravy right there. Yeah. That's happening. Okay, I'm working, yeah. This is too good. I can't wait for y'all to try to cook this. You know, I just love onions in my spinach. I don't know who else like it like that, but I do. I'll tell you, it's quiet in here. Just my lips smacking. Well, y'all, we to this part. Y'all know I ain't gonna eat both of these, but I might. Let me just tell you. That little tiny sprinkle of red pepper, oh, that's the bomb. That's the bomb. And that Cajun seasoning, oh my goodness. Now, one other thing you can do is you can marinate your salmon. Like the day before, you can put some Cajun seasoning on it, put it in the refrigerator, wrap it up, and that's all she wrote. You don't have to add nothing else to it. You know, and the next day it'll be ready to cook. Or you can buy some marinade seasonings. They have a good lemon pepper seasoning, a good teriyaki seasoning, and then you can just make your salmon, and you can just make your fish gravy. This is the bomb, y'all. Wow, I'm losing. I got a hole in my lip. I wish everybody was here with me. I don't know if go here. And the other thing I wanted to say is you can make any kind of butter. You can make herb butter. You can make Cajun butter. Just soften your butter and put whatever you like in there. You can make soy butter, soy sauce butter. You can make any kind of butter you want. Soften up the butter. You can make onion butter. You can make ginger butter. Just, you know, they have those little tubes and everything that it is. Make your own butter. Don't go in there buying, well, you know, buy a stick of butter like that if you want to. You know, it's fine. I ain't gonna tell you what not to buy. But I will tell you that you can do it yourself. You know, and it'd be just the same. But anyway, y'all, I ain't gonna keep y'all holding on. Y'all know me. Even when y'all leave, I'll still be standing here eating. I love it. But anyway, all right. Enjoy this salmon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share my videos. And don't forget to push the like button. I be having all those people on there that's done watch my videos. And then it don't even show that they like them. Y'all watch my stuff and you don't like it, push the like button. Okay? I'm telling you, I watch other people's videos all the time. I watch YouTube all the time. And I push the like button all the time because you know what? I want to give people their props. I want to help them out. I want people to have their props. So help me out. Push my button. Push that thumbs up. I'm okay with that. All right, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Like my videos. All right, y'all. Till next time. Salmon on top of spinach and salmon on top of cheddar mashed potatoes. The bar. All right. Love y'all. Till next time. Don't forget about my jewelry now. Don't forget. Don't forget. Get something cute. Talk to y'all later.